Bold and the Beautiful planted seeds for Sheila Carter, Jack Finnegan, and Poppy Nozawa as possible culprits in the serial killings at Il Giardino on the CBS soap. Even Ly Finnegan and Bill Spencer could be seen acting suspiciously these days, so B&B has a real whodunit mystery spinning this week. On the night of Tom Starr's Clint Howard concert, Bold and the Beautiful sprinkled the room with some evil vibes. Sheila Carter, Kimberlyn Brown, Jack Finnegan, Ted King, and Justin Barber, Justin D. Spears have dark histories. Then toss in Ly Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda, and she rounds out a suspicious foursome. All four of them may have a reason to want Tom Starr dead. The only one missing from this suspicious group at Il Giardino's when Tom keeled over and died was Poppy Nozawa, Rummy Park. But Poppy was there before the show, so she would have access to his drink to spike it. Jack was there but said he left before Tom went belly up because he thought the music was awful. Before Tom went on stage, Poppy confronted him in Deacon Sharp's Scene Cannon apartment. She told him to stop the campaign he was about to embark on. That's telling everyone, including Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada, that she is his daughter. So an overabundance of people who might benefit from keeping Tom quiet had access to Tom's drink at some point that night. It is likely Tom's death stems from what he knew about Luna's paternity. So you might think that info would now go with him to the grave. But it didn't. Bold and the Beautiful even offered ghostly light effects. The lights flickered at the restaurant, which seemed to signify Tom's spirit for some fans. So from the grave, he sent a sign that he wanted Hollis W. Chambers, to dig through his backpack to solve this mystery death. Or maybe he tried to warn Hollis that he was in grave danger. That said, other fans chalk it up to just the electrical grid gone off kilter. But either way, it added to the suspense. So now Hollis is dead, and it looks like he knew the culprit. The last time Bold and Beautiful fans saw him, he was startled by someone walking through the dark restaurant. He acted like he knew whoever this was. Plus, he was ready to confide in this person about what he found in Tom's backpack. Bold and the Beautiful fans know what Sheila Carter told Deacon about the night Hollis died. She said she was in the restaurant late, organizing things. So you might think Sheila is the killer, except for one thing. She demanded that Hollis throw Tom's backpack into the dumpster. So when that person came near Hollis in the dark restaurant, if it was Sheila Carter, would he act the way he did? Why would he tell Sheila he wanted to show her some stuff he found after she blew up the first time he mentioned it? But the clues seemed to point to her after she stayed late in the restaurant. Then the next morning, she wouldn't let Deacon go downstairs into an empty restaurant and make the coffee. Instead, Sheila Carter insisted she would do it. As a nurse, you think she would run to Hollis to check his vitals, but she didn't do that. Not until Deacon told her to help him. She let out some blood-curdling screams. But her face lacked the emotional expression you would expect to go along with this. Plus, as Deacon repeats that Hollis is dead, the camera hones in on her face, and a subtle sinister grin starts to form. Maybe she didn't kill Hollis, or even Tom for that matter, but she may have let the killer in to get to Hollis. Right now, it's looking like there are many suspects on Bold and Beautiful with the opportunity to kill Tom. But it seems like there is only one reason to want him dead, and that's Luna's paternity. But Tom was snooping into Sheila's life, although they seemed to come to an understanding. So fathering Luna appears to rise to the top of the motive list. This offers a reason for the culprit to make the restaurant a scene of a double homicide. Hollis lost his life after finding incriminating evidence, but what did he find? This is Bold and Beautiful, so the theories run rampant. One theory suggests that Poppy Nozawa became pregnant with Luna decades ago by her adopted nephew, Finn, John Finnegan, Tanner Novlin. It also suggests he was on Poppy's special mints when this happened, so he doesn't remember a thing about it. This is something that both Jack and Ly Finnegan would want to keep under wraps, as well as Poppy Nozawa. Sheila would be just as invested as Finn's birth mother to keep this hidden. She would not want to ruin her son's life. So Jack might have told Sheila Carter the story and recruited Sheila to dump that drug into Tom's drink. But maybe Ly had the same idea, and she sprinkled his drink with something. Then there's Poppy, who also may have put her special recipe into Tom's beverage. It's more likely one of these folks is responsible for spiking Tom's drink, causing his death. So when Hollis goes digging around, maybe Sheila Carter bumps him off to get rid of the evidence. Or she opens the restaurant door to let the culprit in and then silence him for good. Poppy, Sheila, Lai, and Jack all have a feasible motive in this theory to cause Tom's death. Jack may have recruited Sheila as Finn's mother, who, like him, would want this kept quiet. But the others would likely be low multi strikes if someone other than Sheila did this. Still, you can't rule out Bill Spencer, Don Diamond. He is no dummy, so he probably had Poppy Nozawa investigated long before this. Under this theory, he could know he is not Luna's father but doesn't care. This might be why he is adamant about legally adopting her. Then she will be his daughter no matter what. The last time we saw Bill and Justin Barber together on Bold and the Beautiful, they were mortal enemies. Justin tried to steal Bill's business holdings, which didn't work. But it left Bill hating his once best friend. So Justin working for Bill is a long shot. But why was he hanging around when Tom died? This only adds to this mystery. Unless these two old friends mended fences and Bill Spencer gave him the task of getting rid of Tom Starr, his presence might be a way for Bold and the Beautiful to throw fans off track. B&B offers a mystery with lots of suspects hovering around. But it looks like Sheila Carter's history comes back to bite her, as it looks like she is about to take the fall for a couple of homicides on the CBS soap. Sheila Carter had always been a force to be reckoned with, her presence looming like a storm cloud over the lives of those in the Forrester, Logan, and Spencer families. Her wicked deeds were as infamous as they were innumerable. And yet, she always found a way to slither back into the lives of those she sought to control or destroy. But this time, it wasn't just a matter of manipulation or obsession. It was life and death. The story began with the complicated relationship between Jack Finnegan and Sheila Carter. Jack, a man with a history steeped in secrets, had always been haunted by his affair with Sheila, which resulted in the birth of their son, Finn. For years, Jack had kept this secret buried deep, trying to shield his wife, Lai, and Finn from the darkness that was Sheila. But secrets, like Sheila, had a way of creeping back into the light. Poppy, Jack's beloved niece, was a new character in the tangled web of relationships. She had come to Los Angeles seeking a fresh start, unaware that her arrival would ignite a series of events that would leave blood on Sheila's hands once more. Poppy was young, vibrant, and had a strong bond with her cousin Finn, who welcomed her with open arms. But her presence didn't go unnoticed by Sheila, who viewed Poppy as a potential threat to her fragile relationship with Finn. Sheila's twisted mind worked in ways that defied logic. She saw Poppy as someone who could turn Finn against her, someone who could remind Finn of the life he couldn't have had if Sheila hadn't been his mother. And in Sheila's world, anyone who posed a threat to her plans had to be eliminated. Jack, sensing the danger Sheila posed to Poppy, was determined to protect her at all costs. He knew what Sheila was capable of. He had seen her ruthlessness firsthand. But Jack was also a man who had lived with guilt for too long. The guilt of betraying Lai, the guilt of hiding Finn's true parentage, and now the guilt of knowing that his past mistakes were putting Poppy's life in danger. The first death linked to Sheila was that of a private investigator hired by Jack. The investigator had been digging into Sheila's past, trying to find something, anything, that could be used to keep her away from Finn and Poppy. But Sheila was always one step ahead. She discovered the investigator's involvement and made sure he wouldn't be able to reveal what he had found. His death was ruled as an accident, but Jack knew better. He had seen the fear in the investigator's eyes during their last conversation, the fear of someone who knew they were being hunted. Poppy, blissfully unaware of the danger she was in, continued to build her life in Los Angeles. She grew closer to Finn, and in doing so, inadvertently attracted more of Sheila's ire. Finn, on the other hand, was torn between his love for his newfound cousin and the complicated emotions he felt towards his biological mother. He knew Sheila was dangerous, but there was a part of him that longed to understand her, to believe that there was some good in her, no matter how small. Jack, realizing that Sheila was escalating her efforts to get rid of Poppy, decided to take matters into his own hands. He couldn't rely on the police. Sheila was too smart, too resourceful. He had to protect his family, even if it meant crossing lines he never thought he would. But as Jack plotted to keep Poppy safe, Sheila was already setting her own deadly plans into motion. The next death was even more shocking. One of Poppy's closest friends, a young woman who had become like a sister to her, was found dead under mysterious circumstances. The police ruled it as a drug overdose, but those who knew her well refused to believe it. Poppy was devastated, and Jack was certain that Sheila was behind it. He confronted her, but Sheila, in her usual fashion, played the victim, twisting the narrative to make it seem like Jack was the one threatening her. But Jack wasn't the only one who had his suspicions. Finn, too, began to notice the strange coincidences surrounding the deaths. He started digging into Sheila's past, uncovering old wounds and past crimes that had long been buried. The more he learned, the more he realized just how dangerous Sheila truly was. Finn's investigation led him to a chilling discovery. Sheila had a history of eliminating those who stood in her way, including members of her own family. The pieces started to fall into place, and Finn knew that if he didn't act quickly, Poppy could be next. Meanwhile, Jack was growing desperate. He knew that time was running out, and he couldn't bear the thought of losing Poppy the way he had lost so much already. In a final desperate move, he decided to confront Sheila directly, hoping that he could reason with her, appeal to whatever shred of humanity she might have left. But Sheila wasn't interested in reason. In her mind, Jack had betrayed her by trying to keep Finn and Poppy away from her. And in Sheila's world, betrayal was unforgivable. The final confrontation between Jack and Sheila was a tense, heart-pounding moment. Jack, armed with the knowledge of Sheila's past crimes, tried to use it as leverage, hoping to scare her into backing off. But Sheila, always cunning, had anticipated this. She revealed her own trump card, a piece of information that shattered Jack's resolve and left him vulnerable. In the end, it was Finn who intervened, arriving just in time to prevent Sheila from carrying out her deadly plan. But the damage was already done. The truth about Jack's past, Sheila's manipulations, and the deaths that had occurred weighed heavily on Finn. He realized that his mother would never change, that she was a threat not only to him, but to everyone he loved. Sheila was arrested, but the scars she left behind would take much longer to heal. Jack, devastated by the toll his secrets had taken, withdrew from the family, leaving Poppy and Finn to pick up the pieces. In the aftermath, Finn and Poppy found solace in each other, their bond stronger than ever. They knew that they had to be vigilant, that Sheila's shadow would always linger. But they also knew that they had survived something extraordinary, something that would shape the rest of their lives. As they looked towards the future, one thing was certain. Sheila Carter's reign of terror might have ended, but the consequences of her actions would be felt for years to come. And in the world of the bold and the beautiful, there was no such thing as a happily ever after, only the next twist in the never-ending drama.